We're back here on SportsLine talking Predators and Blackhawks, opening up the playoffs for the second time in 3 years. Just heard from Pete Weber. We'll be calling the series on the radio here locally. Always check out him because he is terrific at what he does. Peter Laviolette, of course, led Carolina to a Stanley Cup title, hoisted the cup with the Hurricanes, got back to a Stanley Cup final with the Flyers. Trying to do the same thing with the Predators now. And if they can beat the Blackhawks, who knows what can happen at that point, because as we mentioned, the Blackhawks heavy favorites going into this series and favored overall, even ahead of the President's Trophy winning Capitals, to win the Stanley Cup at the end of the playoffs. Peter Laviolette talking with the media today about his team, about getting ready for the Blackhawks, and the young man Panas Aber, who they called up from the farm team, from the minor leagues in Milwaukee today. Guy who only played 15 games with the Preds during the regular season, but had more than 30 goals this year in Milwaukee. He provides speed and perhaps a scoring threat that could be an option for the lineup at some point during this series against the Hawks.
Was the decision to bring Pontus up today? Talk about what I know he's done well in Milwaukee. Why did you want him here?
Well, he's had a really good year. He's played really well when he was up here. We could only keep so many players. We wanted to keep him playing, but you know, he's a fast player. He scored 30 goals in the minors. He's developed for 3 years now inside of our organization, and he's ready for an opportunity like this. So it's nice to have him if we need him.
A guy like PK, who's had some success in the playoffs. What can that bring to a
I think any player that's experienced success in the playoffs can bring valuable experience to the table. Certainly, I think just their own game, having been through it before, but also having that, I think, inside your room, if you can get, they say there's something to having guys that have won a championship or have playoff experience. So I think that helps. I think some of the battles that our guys have been through, inside of our organization. The first, 2 years ago to Chicago, and then the last 2 years getting to Game 7s, and all of that's good, valuable experience moving forward for all of our players. No, there's no question. I mean, that's why you play the 82 games, is to get to this point. Our guys battled hard to get here. Everybody gets excited to play for the playoffs. We talked about it a week ago. 50% of the teams are going home today. They're packing up and they're out of here. 50% or a little over 50% get to stay and play for the Stanley Cup. So that's the whole purpose of the 82 games. Now we got to have some fun in the playoffs.
Did you see a different Colin Wilson on the ice today?
What's that?
Colin Wilson, did he look to be in playoff form today from past years? How can his past experience help him maybe rekindle?
Well, back to it, I think all of the experience of our players. I mean, for him to draw on what he's done in the playoffs, he's been excellent for us. So certainly that's a positive going forward.
We talk about goals and how crucial it is, but for someone his team, and there's obviously no reason to think he won't be a good guy. Just kind of speak to Pekka's leadership when it comes to the playoffs.
Well, he's a terrific goalie. He's a competitor, and he practices as hard as he can every day to get himself ready for games and to get himself ready for situations like this. And our guys have a tremendous amount of confidence in him as a goaltender, and I know you saw his statements about how excited he was to get into the playoffs a few days ago. When you hear that from your goalie, that's good stuff. That's exciting.
As a coach, are there different things that you talk to your goalie about going into the playoffs, since he plays such a crucial role? Or what's that dynamic like?
No, I mean, we try to prepare everybody for the playoffs. I mean, going into Chicago is no easy bargain. It's got a loud building and a lot of energy, a lot of experience on their team. So we talk about all different scenarios with the group.
The last 2 years, it's kind of been heck or bust in terms of the goaltending in the playoffs. You haven't had the luxury to have a guy who's been as good as you see during the regular season. Does that change in any way how you might approach goaltending?
No. I mean, it's great that we've got 2 goaltenders. Pekka's our guy. He's been the backbone of this organization. He's playing great right now. He played phenomenal in Winnipeg. He's our guy. So.
Without
people realize the value of the power play, the importance, penalty kill, those kind of things. But are there intangibles that this series is going to boil down to? Other than
You know, you never know, honestly. Like, I'm not trying to skirt the question. There's been so many series played. I've seen series where physicality rules the day. I've seen it where injuries trump everything. Special teams, goaltending, whatever it might be. So it's hard to say. I mean, they're a good hockey team. We're going to have to prepare for a lot of different situations. You don't get to where they've gotten to in the last few years if you're not a good team. We realize that, but we also like the way we played against this club. So we're looking forward to it.
waiting for these 3 days, kind of the hardest part?
For these 3 days of practice? I mean, just getting through the end of the season was we're happy we're here today. We're happy we're practicing. We got some good stuff today. It was slow. We didn't want to push the pace today, just coming off of the end of the season and the day off yesterday. We wanted to work on situational stuff and face-offs and breakouts and power play, penalty kill, that sort of thing. So tomorrow we'll ramp it up. There'll be a lot more energy in the practice itself. But you know, it was good just to get out here and work on some things. That's something we haven't had the luxury of doing lately.
Hard to get practice time late in the regular season, so a few days here in a row where they can get on the ice and work on something without having to worry about a game is kind of nice, especially going into a series as difficult as the one against the Blackhawks probably will be. Because once you get into the series, you're not practicing a whole lot either. It's maintenance between games as you go. And so it's nice to have this opportunity here, nice to get some guys a little fresh. That all very much helps. One of those guys, Mike Fisher, nagging injuries down the stretch. He was able to get some time off, hopefully be 100% heading into the playoffs right here. As you heard Pete Weber allude to earlier, the captain kind of had a pointed message for his team on Sunday as they found out their opponent and the plan for the playoffs. And essentially the message, we're not privy to all of it, but essentially the message Mike said was you just have to have belief. You have to believe in yourself and one another that you can go in and do it. And if you believe, anything is really possible. The captain talked to the media today about his belief in his team in his first year with that captaincy on his sweater, and also what this playoff trip means to him. At 36 years of age, he understands time is running out if he's going to win a Stanley Cup during the course of his career.
Get ready for this big playoff series against the dreaded Blackhawks.
It's a great feeling. Man, everyone looks forward to playoffs. There's no question. There's nothing better than playoffs, and we're all excited about where we've come. This year we feel like we've improved a lot as a team, and we know we're facing a great hockey team. There's no question, but we feel confident in our group. So.
A lot of times when it's an 8-against-1, there's disparity between the two clubs. It doesn't seem like there's much, though, between these two teams. Do you feel that way?
No, I mean, I think it's going to be evenly, tightly matched. There's no question. We've played them before in the playoffs, and it was, great series a couple years ago. And we know we're in tough, but we're a confident group, and we believe in this room, and we're looking forward to a great series.
What words would you use to describe a playoff series against the Blackhawks?
I don't know exactly what words, but I know there's going to be a lot of excitement in our building, both buildings. And there's going to be, we expect nothing other than just a really great series, and we're everyone, you can feel it in the air. It's a nice day out. It's getting warmer, and that playoffs is, I don't know, there's just something about it. Just preparing this week, and even practice, and you can feel it, and it's so exciting.
Mike, is there something to be said about not only the opportunity to get another chance at the playoffs, but to face a team like Chicago in the first round, and what a series victory against that particular team, a team that's been the toast of the Western Conference for several years, what that can do for this franchise and this group? Well,
I think, facing a team like Chicago first, it's going to have to bring the best out of us as a group. We know they're a great hockey team, and they finished first for a reason, and so I think we're going to prepare. We know we're going to be at our best. I think that's a good thing. It's going to really bring out the best in us as a group, and that's something you always look forward to. You always want to you know, we're gonna have to. You know, we're going to have to face the best right away, and I think that's great.
Mike, you got beat up a little bit in that series 2 years ago. Does that add anything extra for you to get another crack at these guys in the playoffs healthy?
Yeah, I mean, we're hopefully, you know, we'll be healthy going in and stay healthy, but you can't control those things, and you know, both teams are pretty different too. So, but you know, hopefully we'll, you know, it's. You know, that was a disappointing series, there's no question, a couple of years ago. So we're, you know, we want to turn the tide for sure.
Speaking of difference, this is the first time you go in as the captain of this team. What kind of a message, if any message, was delivered to this locker room before you get started?
You know, I think it's just a belief. I think all year long we've really believed in this group as a team, and we started out a little rough, and you know, there's maybe some doubters outside, but we really come together. We've improved, and I think there's so much belief in this room that we can be successful and we can win, and you know, that beats a lot of different. That beats everything if we believe inside. And I think that's the direction, and you know, that we know we're going to have to take. So.
Like with a year or two under your belt, do you start to, you know, in the back of your mind, you know, you only get so many kicks of the can? Is that do you think about that ever from time to time as you go into the playoffs?
Absolutely. You never know when you're going to be back. And it's so hard to make it in the playoffs. And, I remember a lot of years ago, some of the older guys, going into one playoff, you know, it was like you never know when you're going to get back, and sometimes you take it for granted, thinking you're young, and all of a sudden you're here, and it's so you got to try and make the most of it, enjoy the process of the playoffs, and being able to do this, and you know, I feel very fortunate.
Does that, I mean.